For those that don't know me, I'm Virginia Walton, and I'm an executive burnout coach. Prior to starting my coaching practice, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry, where I worked my way from teller to small community bank to senior vice president of a $27 billion bank by the age of 38. I'd love to tell you it was easy peasy. It wasn't. I worked hard. I didn't always work as smart as I should. So, of course, I nearly burned out along the way. So now I have found a better way, and I look to help other corporate women continue to advance professionally, personally, whatever their goals are, without sacrificing themselves or burning themselves out, particularly at work. You really can kind of have it all if you know what all is. So that's kind of why we're talking about today our motivation, or another common term will be your why. Right? Companies have mission statements, value statements. You set goals and objectives every year. You got to know where you're going to get there, right? There's a great book by Simon Sinek, Start with the Why. And it highlights companies that have really strong whys and how they succeed versus those who their why isn't as clear. And making money, yes, that's a goal, but that's usually not the best one for a company, right? What they want to do, what the impact you want to have, that's your why. So I'm probably not telling you anything new. You're in corporate America. You know this. You may have been on the team that wrote it. You also have probably either worked for or done business with companies with really strong whys, and you can see how they live it and how they succeed. And ones where they have a very well written in it mission statement, and it's captivating, but they don't live it. It might be on some marketing material, maybe on some posters or collateral around the office, but they don't live it. Right? The last firm I was at, their why was serving those who serve others. And their primary clients were teachers and professors as when they originally started. It was a great why. I don't know that I got to feel it every day. Maybe it was just where I was because I came in through acquisition, but I was really excited when I heard that. I was like, this is a great company. Awesome. I related to that personally. Others may not. But my personal why is to serve others. So it resonated with me. You see that? I had a personal why. Right? We're living through the Great Resignation. I see so many women on LinkedIn have changed jobs in the last, couple of years. And it's great. And I'm sure when you pick who you want to work for, what their mission is, what their values are, that's part of your decisioning if you want to work there, right? So this all makes sense. So as much time as you've invested in either being part of the team that wrote the mission statements, reviewing them to make sure that's an organization that you can be behind and you can support, how much time do you spend on your personal why? If I asked you to articulate it, could you? I'm not talking about New Year's goal resolutions or goals, right? The infamous, I'm going to exercise more, I'm going to get to more sleep or get to bed earlier, get up earlier, I'm going to make better food choices. Those are all great things to aspire to. And many of us say every January, I'm doing this. Just look at the gym, right? It's packed in January. By middle of February, not so much. If you're a regular gym person, you probably hate January because everybody's there. They're not normally there. They weren't there a week ago, and now they're just in your way. But those don't usually work out, right? Most of us by February, we've kind of bailed on them, right? Maybe if you set a goal and you kept it visual somewhere, you succeeded, right? Vision boards are great tools to help us remind us. If you put them where you can see them. Planners that help you keep your goals, your mission, your why at your forefront are great tools. But there's a better way. If you really are going to capture it, you need to live it. Let me say that again. You need to live your why. You need to align your decisions, your prioritization, that it's back in alignment. It's going to get you to that. It's working towards that goal, that mission, that why. Are you doing that? Because it's successful companies where they do, when they make decisions, it's to make sure they're in alignment to that why, they have great success. And where they don't, it just becomes marketing collateral on a wall. Aren't you worth more than just marketing collateral? So, I'm going to share an example of a woman who lived her why. She didn't have it on a poster board with pictures cut out for magazines or, use some fancy daily planner where every morning it was at the top of the page. Those are great tools. If they work for you, listen, I have vision boards. I've led vision board sessions. The key there, you got to put it someplace where you'll see it every day. You'll see there's a theme here. So, if I asked you and you said, well, my family's my why. Okay. What for your family? What about your family? More time together? That you maintain a certain lifestyle? That your kids don't have to work part-time jobs? That they don't have to take out loans for college? That you're present at every activity they do? Be more specific. Or that I arrange my schedule so that I see 80% of their events. Or I've told my children, I may not be at 100% of their games, their performances, their concerts, their recitals, but they're not going to have a single dime of debt when they get out of school. Okay. That's what I mean. That's being clear on your why. Just saying my kids. What for them? So the woman I'm going to use as an example was not a corporate woman. She kind of got shuffled through the school system because her mom was ill and the school knew that. So they knew, listen, she needed to get home to take care of her mom. She needed to do more around the house than most of her friends. There wasn't enough money for her and her brother to go to college. So he was going to go. He was older. He was a boy. It was a little bit different era. So they just kind of made sure her class schedule allowed her to get home so she could do what she needed to do and that she'd meet her requirements and get her high school diploma. And that was going to be it. Well, that didn't really afford her a great future. At least that's how she felt. So she did what she needed to do. She took care of her family. She took care of her mom. She wanted her mother to see her get married. So again, shortly after high school graduation, she got married. Her mom was there. She met that goal. Her mom passed away within the year. So in the end, here she wound up in her mid to late 20s, single mom, not a lot of job potential, so to speak. Her why became very clear. Her why was that her daughter, which was her only child, was going to have a better life and a better future than what hers looked like. That's specific. And even more specific was her daughter was going to go to college. She didn't know what would happen after that, but that to her was the critical element of college education. So, when she came to this, her daughter was nowhere near college. But she made every decision in her life aligned to that why. She was a young woman, single. She didn't date. The reason being, no man was going to tell her how to raise her child. You see? She made a decision. It wasn't because she didn't have time, she didn't feel pretty enough, or that she thought it was, no, I'm making this decision in alignment with my child. And she thought that could be a distraction from that goal, so she didn't take it. When it came to, okay, we're, elementary school, high school, what's the best option for my child? The nearby Catholic school. Okay. How do we pay the tuition? She cleaned houses in addition to her full-time job because that was in alignment with that goal. That was a better quality education, so she figured out how to make that happen. Again, it's at the forefront. Daughter goes to high school. Again, she had done her homework and she knew the college acceptance rate was greater from a nearby Catholic school versus the public school. Granted, this public school is the same one she had. So she had a little bit of a bad taste in her mouth. So again, okay, my child is going there. How do I figure out how to pay for it? That meant no new cars because car payments took away from tuition payments. No fancy vacations because money needed to be spent on tuition. She drove cars that she could pay for without having to take out a loan. Annual vacations didn't happen because they would have been a distraction from that goal. This is what I'm talking about, making it in alignment. So if your goal is that your kids will not have any debt when they get out of college, does that mean you have to scale back vacations because your bonus goes in? Maybe it doesn't. Everybody's financial situation is different. But that's the kind of example I'm using, right? If your financial situation meant, if we go on this vacation every year, we go to Disney, which is an expensive vacation, that money's not going to get invested in their college fund. So they may not have 4 years covered, or they may have to go to a different school because we won't have invested as much. That's the kind of decisions you need to make if you're being true to your why. Okay? So, again, every decision this woman made was to get to that goal. She knew well-rounded students, those applications did better. So she made sure she encouraged her daughter to be well-rounded, to play sports, to do other types of extracurricular activities. And if there was a cost, she figured out how to pay for that, right? It wasn't, well, I want you to be well-rounded, but I'm going to go get my nails done every week. So there's not going to be money to pay for the bus trips to go with that group or whatever. Every decision aligned to her personal why. Now, granted, she didn't need it pictures on her refrigerator or written on the wall because she saw her child every day. So it was kind of very visually present, just as if yours is around your family and your children or your home. You'll see that every day. It's about the mindset that you are in complete alignment. If your why is strong, you will. If your why doesn't feel that strong, if it's I want to retire at 60, but you really don't care if you work till 60 or 65, you're probably not going to max out your 401k, right? You might borrow against it. Or maybe you're going to, this year we're going to put an addition on the house, or we're going to take a European vacation. We're going to cut back how much, right? It's not very strong. That's okay. But you're not going to have the same level of success if your why isn't that strong, right? Just like a company, if their why is to create a great experience for their employees and associates, they're going to make decisions that way. I believe it was in Start With the Why, but I may be wrong because I've read a lot of books that talk about this. They highlight, during the Great Recession a few years ago, decisions that Costco and Walmart, I think, made. Or maybe it was Costco and GE. But they highlighted Costco as being stand out from their peers, other retailers. As we went through this economic downturn, other companies were cutting back. They were reducing staff. They were letting staff go. They knew their staff was struggling. Everybody was struggling financially, right? So they increased salaries. They made decisions to help their employees. And guess what? In the long run, they had better financial results. Now, you can't just go and compare bottom line to bottom line because they're different sizes, right? But if you do make the comparison so it's equitable, you will see they had better results. Because they stood behind their why. Their decisions aligned with their why. They were about supporting their associates. So they made the decisions to support their associates. They succeeded. Their associates felt more appreciated. Their associates continued to have jobs. Their associates were able to be contributing members towards the economy. That's great PR. Not that your personal why needs PR, right? That's personal, how you feel about it personally. So now that I've used this example of this woman who, made every decision in her life aligned to that goal of my daughter will go to college. She will have a better life than I had. That was the goal. It was crystal clear. How do you think that worked out? Do you think her daughter went to college? Do you think she was successful in life? Yeah, she was. That was my mom. I finished college at 19 with less than $10,000 in debt. I bought my first home at 23, which I still reside in today, and it has no mortgage against it. And as I said, I worked my way up to senior vice president. So she lived her why, and I live her goal. So while you may not have read it in the pages of a book yet, I am living proof that if you are dedicated to your why and you align your decisions to it, you will achieve it. My own personal example, I bought my house at 23. My goal is to have it paid off by 40, right? That's 27 years, and at some point refinanced down to a 15, so it worked out. Like it would be exactly. And I did. I had my house paid off before I was 40. Because I made my decisions. I managed my money. That was my goal. When bonuses came in, it was pay down debt. I paid, right? I made my decisions on how I did prioritize everything else, making sure I was in alignment to that goal. So I'm asking you again, when you make decisions, are you in alignment to your why? Are you living your why? If you're not, now's the time to change. And if first you're saying, crap, I don't know what my why is. You're right, Virginia. I've been worrying about it for my employer. Their mission statement, I've fine-tuned that. I've written the goals and objectives every year for the last 10 years. Why haven't I done more about my own goals outside of those wonderful New Year's resolutions we all set? Now it's the time to change. If you don't know where to start, that's okay. And you don't have to be a single mom, just trying to get your kid into college. Your why is yours, whatever it is. Maybe you want to leave a scholarship fund, a legacy. Maybe you want to retire at 45. If you're 50, that's probably a bad why at this point. So we'll adjust the numbers. But my point is, if you don't know really what your why is, you've just been going through the motions, let me help you. It will make life so much easier. Because once you're clear on that goal, listen, you are successful. I know that. Bring that professional success into your life. Get clarity. I know it sounds coachy, but it's true. Trust me on this. I will help you. I will help you get clear on that why and help you to make that transition to so that you're just lining your decisions. You just have to let me know you're ready. I'm here. So drop me a comment, drop me a note, message me. Leave a comment, message me, check out my website, virginiawalton.com. And maybe if this wasn't what you needed to hear right now, one of your friends may. So please share. You may be helping someone more than you know. With that, be well.